Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome to another video where I go through the top 5 essential things for your car not moving. So I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, you join me once again. I wanted to go through something that's quite relevant in this kind of issue that is obviously going on around the world, and hopefully to help you guys out, and essentially just a few things that I've sort of done over my, I suppose, 12 years of sort of owning a car and having a license and driving. A few things that I've done if my car has not been moving. Myself and obviously you guys as well, you're in a situation where you're probably not going to be driving as much. Your car is probably going to be sitting there and it's not going to be moving. And this is all due to the laws in place and people working from home and things like that. Now I should stress, this is a bit of a community channel. You know, I love my subscribers that I've got over the last few years, and a lot of people do comment. So if you have any sort of questions or any sort of worries that you have around your car, because it's not going to be moving as much, and I haven't answered it in these kind of 5 points, drop a comment. I'll try and help out. Others always try and help out as well, and try and build up a little bit of that community base to basically help people out. That's the idea of this video really. And again, give it a like, share and subscribe, because I'll do more videos in the past, and if more questions come up in the comments, I'll do sort of like a part 2 version of this, again to help people out, so please stay tuned. So my number one point is to turn on your car. It may sound a little bit obvious, but essentially when your car has been sitting, most modern cars generally have a long lifespan of being able to sit and not move. They're designed for that. But I would say at least kind of once a month you want to be turning on your car and getting it up to temperature. Now I'm quite a car enthusiast, so I may sort of do it a little bit sooner, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks. That might actually be a little bit too much. But essentially by turning it on and allowing it to get up to temperature, you're just allowing the car to basically just circulate. It's just allowing it to get back to its usual sort of ways. They're designed to be moved. Just like humans, it works in the exact same way. They want to be moved, they want to be used essentially. Now obviously it's not advised in the UK to actually go out for a drive unless you're going for an essential sort of shopping trip, so you can, or for like medical supplies, so you can sort of combine it with doing those trips. Alternatively, if you're not needing to go outside, which I hope you don't, just by allowing it to sit on your drive for sort of 10-15 minutes, make sure you're not in a garage or anything, well ventilated area. You know, it's going to smoke a little bit more than normal, particularly as it's going to be very cold, your car. 10 to 15 minutes, allow it to warm up. It tends to get up to about 90 degrees, tends to be the recommended temperature. That is my first main point. Just let it get up to temperature, let it get itself sorted. It basically allows the battery to charge. That's the real main thing. I would hate for someone in a couple of months' time to really need their car for an emergency, try and turn it over, and you know, the ignition's not even going to come on, the electrics aren't going to come on because the battery is flat. This will avoid it because it will charge the battery up and also allow everything to sort of circulate as normal: oil, fuel, everything. Number 2 is actually to move your car. Now one thing I've sort of noticed over the years, being quite a car enthusiast, is that the one thing that I find most useful about this is actually for the brakes. I find that if a car has been sitting for a while, particularly even for me, if I've driven for quite a while to work and then left it for 3 days, because the brakes and everything has got quite warm, they tend to lock up. So when I move, you tend to hear quite a loud bang. So I would say move your car. If you're on your driveway, you only have to move it forward slightly, sort of in first gear, slightly back in reverse, gently on the brakes. You might have some like surface rust or anything, and just that kind of gave me a little bit of peace of mind, just to make sure everything was okay. It gives you kind of confidence that those little things are working. Now if you can, the best thing would be to go for a short drive, and it's just where laws allow in your country. Don't go out for sort of like unnecessary drives or anything like that. It's just not worth it. But if you can go for a short drive, if you need to go for a short drive I should say, to like the shops, that'll be quite a good thing. Follow the same pattern that I'm going through. So the first one, warm up your car. Second one, move your car. Third one is tyres. Just check to see if you've got any sort of tyre pressure sensors. Generally any error messages are good things to check for. And just check your tyres, see if they look underinflated, because if they have been sat for quite a while, you may need to pump them up. Pump them up to manufacturer's recommendations. All cars are different. You get it in your handbook for example on my Golf, you get it just also on, if you open the door, it's just on the left hand side, and just make sure it's to that setting if your car doesn't have any pressure sensors to actually tell you it's too low. On top of that, with the tyres side of things, try to avoid any sort of flat spots on your tyres. Now what I mean by that is if your car has been sitting in the same sort of pressure point, it's only got four points onto the road, onto the tarmac or wherever you're parked, and that is constantly putting weight on those tyres. Now that's fine for a short period of time, but for a long period of time, and I really mean like sort of 3 months plus, it's not a good thing, because it can just, it'll give you a flat spot on your tyre basically, which is not what you want. The best thing to kind of avoid that, from what I can see, particularly in the UK when I'm trying to go with the current laws for this time, is just move it out of your drive and try and move it back in a different way, if that makes sense. It will just mean the rotation of your tyres are in a different place. You can then park it back up, and essentially the pressure point is somewhere else, and that's something that should be useful. So that is my third point. Fourth point, try to make sure everything's working. So try just the vents, try the wipers, try the lights, just all the little basic essentials. Really, really useful to kind of keep on top of that. Again, try and do all these things at once. You don't want to be doing all these unnecessarily. Try and do these 5 points as you kind of go along. Make sure everything's okay. Generally, when you try things and get them going, turn the vents onto a higher setting, try the hot, try the cold. I know it sounds strange to be saying these things in 2020, and a lot of modern cars are very, very good and very secure. It's, again, peace of mind. You know it was working X amount of time ago. Keep trying it, keep getting it used. So that's my fourth point. Number 5 is to actually check to see if there's any leaks. So after your car has been warmed up, and it's fine, essentially you've done these points, turn off the car, have a little check around it, see if there's anything obvious, anything dripping. You know, don't worry too much, it can just be sort of water residue or something like that, so don't be alarmed if you see anything. Cars generally do stuff like this, particularly from the exhaust or something like that. Generally after like the first sort of like half an hour, maybe go back to your car, just have a little look, make sure everything's okay. Those are kind of my 5 points, and my actual final point after all of these is just not to panic and not to worry about your car. There's a lot more things in this sort of day and age to kind of be worried about. But I really wanted to do this video because I wanted to make sure people who are in desperate need of using their car and are not using it as regularly are not left stranded in a situation where their car is unusable. The days of going out for fun drives, as I used to like to do a couple of weeks ago, are kind of over for the moment, until this crisis kind of ends. So use your car for its kind of purpose. If you need to get medical supplies in the UK, and I should stress actually, we're on the 29th of March, so laws and rules may have changed after this time, so don't quote me on any of the things of this, unless you're watching it on the 29th of March. Yeah, all the kind of essential reasons where you would need a car if you're sort of like a frontline NHS worker. Yeah, so much respect for you guys on the front line, or just someone in a piece of work where it's really, really important. In the food industry, everything is really, really critical at the moment, and if you're in a position where you're not using your car and then you suddenly need to use it for whatever reason, I reckon these steps will help you out, and that's the main purpose of this video. But yes, don't worry, modern cars are generally fine, but I hope this kind of video has helped you out. Let me know in the comments if it has, and any sort of experiences you've had of having your car sat for a long period of time. Maybe you've gone on holiday somewhere and you've had it sat for a long time and you've experienced an issue. What you've kind of learned from that and what you've done in the future. You know, hopefully everyone should be able to kind of comment on this, and honestly, just like a brief paragraph on your kind of experience might just help someone out watching this. At the end of the day, in this situation, we're all kind of in it together. I know my fair bit about cars. I might not be able to help people as a doctor or as a nurse or anything like that, but hopefully I can help people out in this way. But yeah, please give this video a like if you've enjoyed it and found it useful. Please share as well. I will likely do sort of like a part 2 to this if I get more information in comments or something I see really, really useful. I'm going to be going through these kind of checks, so I'm going to make sure as the months kind of go on, I'd like to do videos which help people out, keep people either distracted for a little bit, maybe only 5 or 10 minutes, or help people out in sort of like a real situation, like keeping your car healthy while it's not moving. Thanks so much for watching, stay safe, and I will see you again next time. Cheers guys.